What is up, everybody? It is the one and only Black Monday after show. So we find the links Keith will go through to skip out on his family. Wayne and Yassir get the prank of a lifetime, and Blair gets sloppy drunk and kisses the wrong woman. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I miss our opening songs. I really do.
It would be nice.
We love AfterBuzz, though.
No, of course we do.
Give AfterBuzz props.
No, we love it. That's why we're here, because we love what we do and we love this company.
Amen.
I miss our opening songs.
But you don't like the AfterBuzz song?
No, it's, again, I just said. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lem Gonsalves here, and it is the one and only Black Monday after show. Great episode. Super excited to talk about it. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have a full panel! Yeah! We got it all together.
Yeah.
It's four of us. Yes, it is here. Now, next to me is the one and only Angele Taylour in the building.
Hi, guys.
She wasn't with us last week. We don't know what she was doing, but I'm sure it was awesome. Chae Jones is in the building.
Hey guys, I was doing something a lot of fun, so.
Sure you were. And our newest panelist is back with us. We did not stir away. Kittie KaBoom!
What up? Kitty KaBoom in the house.
Yeah.
Ow.
So, ladies, what did you guys think of this episode?
Am I going first?
You can, whoever.
I thought it was awesome. I always think it's awesome. I think the cast of characters really makes me happy when I see them because I know it's going to be. It makes me happy. I see them show up. I'm like, oh, it's going to be good. The writing was superb this particular episode. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Oh, wow.
Well,
So
dang. Is that how
Are
you
we
really
boring?
Chae Jones.
Man.
Chae Jones.
I know. Chae Jones,
Speak on it.
the youngest panelist, is the one that's tired at 9 p.m.
I had a 3-hour acting class.
Oh,
hey
wow.
guys,
Okay. I have an 8-hour workday.
Exactly.
I get up
That's
at 5:30.
Okay.
But it's okay, though.
But we're good.
That's
I'm
okay.
great out here.
Yeah. You're
I was
here.
not taking me on.
All right, Chae Jones. What are you going to say before you were yawning? Go right ahead.
How do you feel about the show?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love this episode. I love Karma Chameleon. It's one of my favorite songs, even though I didn't even hear it until like a year ago. And now every time I hear it, I'm always
So now it's one
happy.
of your favorites.
Oh, it makes me happy. It makes
Okay.
me just want to dance. I think it's a great song, even though I didn't really know it existed until
Okay.
like a year ago.
Okay. Wow. All right. What do you got to say, Angele?
I think the show started off kind of slow and then it picked up all the way at the end. So much at the end. It's crazy.
I'm going to say this. I think this show is really one that it continues to surprise me. Like, it's not predictable at all.
No.
Because you watch these shows, especially series, and we've seen them, and it's like, all right, I know this is going to happen.
Right.
Especially when you see, like, the previews for the next... I know that's going to happen. And I never know what's going to happen with the show. It has so many twists and turns, and it's only a 30-minute show. So it's literally like so much that they pack into these episodes. And I think it's really dope. Like you said, the writing is great. The acting is superb, too. And, of course, my favorite, it's set in the 80s, and which, makes it a period piece.
That part.
That part is so dope, even though Chae doesn't like the 80s, and she's been vocal about it.
Why do we always have this conversation?
Because you don't like the 80s, and you're covering an 80s show.
I don't dislike the 80s. I just think certain things in the 80s are the 80s.
That didn't make
That
any
is
sense.
so profound.
Yeah.
That was really deep.
So,
I'm sorry.
Is that a negative thing?
That's not a negative thing. It's just for the time period. I can't always connect with it like you guys did because I didn't grow up in it, so it
Right.
means nothing to me as much as
Baby,
it does
do
to
your
you.
homework.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's so much that could be
I
learned about
enjoyed it though.
Okay.
I enjoy the show. I think it's amazingly. All the cast is great. The writing's great. Like everybody says, the people that have directing coming into directing are just phenomenal because each style of way they film it is different than every other person that films it.
True.
Which is great. And like you said, it's different because you never know what to expect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's great. It's great. So we've established that three of us
is
like
great.
the 80s. So
I
we're just going to move on.
I like 80s music. Leave me alone.
you like Karma Chameleon.
I love old school classic rock. I
Yeah.
love Def Leppard, Leonard Skinner. I'm down for it.
Pink
All of
Floyd. Not so much.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to move on.
I can listen to it and be like in for it, but yeah.
All right. So, let's talk about this opening scene because we see Wayne wake up in a hotel room. Now, we know Wayne, you tried to do the LaGuardia situation, right?
He tried it.
He tried it.
Was
he
not
did.
successful.
No.
And wakes up with Yassir, who we don't see a lot of. And I'm really wanting to get his backstory.
Yeah,
right?
it'd be nice for them to flesh him out a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's coming. It's coming. But we see them both, and then they wake up next to a dead body in this hotel room.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they're freaking out because they don't know what happened, what went down. There's a gun. They don't know, what's going on. So we table that, and then we get to where Tiff is going berserk because now it's time for engagement party, right? Of course, we know she's engaged to Blair, and she's been having a hard time because Blair's been gone, because he's got the new job.
Right.
She's frustrated. She's sexually frustrated.
She's just
He's not there.
frustrated
She's
all
just
the way
frustrated
around.
all the way around.
Yeah.
And she's
there's-
hungry.
Yeah, exactly. And so I love when they're talking about Uruguay and talking about going to... and-
Uruguay is how
yeah,
that's pronounced, sir.
Is it Uruguay?
It's Uruguay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
you sound just as bad as her.
She was right.
You're
You're
gay.
a gay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
You're
gay.
You're
You're
gay.
gay.
yeah. So I thought it was Uruguay.
She was starving. Obviously, they both were because
Right.
she's put them on this self-imposed diet. That I didn't see any difference in the way she looked
Right.
the week before.
And he's already
did.
skinny,
I
so I'm
saw
like, how
different.
skinny? How more skinny can Blair get? I'm like, dude's already as skinny as he could be. What are you really trying to do to him?
I thought she was the only one on the diet, not him.
No,
remember?
Slim Fast last week.
Slim fast.
Right. Which
Remember
you
that?
highlighted, right?
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, right? But I think that's the amazingness of the show, right?
Yeah.
It's just these characters. We see that Spencer and Dawn, there's an issue with using condoms. Now, I wanted to get your take on this because I wanted to kind of figure out what you thought about the situation because we do see Dawn is
Right.
taking birth control.
For sure.
I don't think that
don't know.
he's privy to that.
No, clearly that was very obvious.
Right.
The fact that he's poking holes in condoms, thinking that's going to be his saving grace, is ridiculous.
First of all, that was so disrespectful. Just I'm sorry, that was very disrespectful. Poking a hole into your condom just to trick your woman into having.
Possible. Like
Yeah.
if there
You
was
only
liquid, it
need,
would
like-
not get out.
I mean,
He did it with the little needle.
you just need to
At
put.
the end,
you
that's
just
all
need to
you
put a
need.
hole.
Is a
That's all
little
you
hole.
need.
That's all you need.
You
Those little
just-
babies
Yeah,
squirm through anything.
they just go in there.
Sperm or small.
But anyway,
Thank
I
God
was
I
saying,
don't know anything about that.
at the end of the day, I thought it was kind of wild that he took those kind of or he thought he was taking precautions,
Right.
and he clearly knows nothing about her
Like
taking
on a
birth
whole
control.
Trojan
Right.
stack. He was just gonna just.
Yeah,
do
no,
it,
that was
yeah.
bad. The fact that she's not playing along. She's not playing nice. She's a career woman. There's no way she's going to take a break
And
and having a baby and then have to actually raise the baby.
Yeah.
That's not in the cards for her.
she's been, and the thing is, she was adamant about not having a child.
Exactly.
And the fact that he wants this to happen, first of all, Don is smarter than him. So there's no way.
Quite
There's
true.
no way he's going to outsmart Don. Like,
Exactly.
at the end of the day.
Period.
So he needs to stop. But Dawn, like you said, she's a career woman. She does not want a child. She was, vocal about that
Right.
with her and her parents.
Adamant.
Very much so. So the fact that this wants to happen, it just shows that they're not on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Which is probably why we see later on in the episode the issues that are coming up.
Yeah, but for me, it's just like you were trying to change the person you married. Like you knew going into what I wanted for myself. But now that we've gone in a couple of years, now you want to change the rules because you're ready. You don't have to pop out the baby and have a baby for 9 months, but because you're ready, you want it now. Sorry, CD, it don't work that way.
You mentioned earlier that you never know what's coming. That's the only thing that I can confidently predict is that they're going to fall apart. They're going to get, if they don't get divorced,
Right.
I don't know about that, but I know they're not going to make it much longer. At the end of the day, they're not on the same page about a lot of things, not just that pregnancy. Remember when she came home and she was like, oh, I got a bottle of wine. She's feeling all sexy. This fool got food on his belly.
Right.
Talking about I can't move. Like, that is so serious.
If you want to do all the work, I'll just sit here and take it.
Right,
Right.
like who does that? So
Ouch.
my point is that there's love there with without question, but they're not gonna make it. It ain't looking good.
And we see that there's a lot of there's a lot of things going on, but there's two major factors. One is the whole Mo situation,
Right.
Because they previously
that is
dated,
a situation,
right, which came out and he did not know that happened. She's been trying to keep that a secret, because they work together. We did see it come out, at the party. And then there's Blair. That is like a crazy wrench in this situation because Blair's supposed to be with Tiff and they're supposed to be getting married, and that's the whole play. That's the whole reason why we're watching this show, because the whole big situation,
right.
And then the fact that that's in jeopardy because now he's feeling Dawn.
Georgia and the jeans.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake there.
There's a lot,
and he's always felt Dawn. I think he just is like waiting for her to see what cues are evident that she likes him just as much as he likes her.
Do you guys feel any chemistry between Dawn and Spencer though? Like that married couple?
I feel like at
not
the
really.
I feel
There's
like at the
no
time,
stars and rockets.
Yeah, I feel like at the time it was what worked for her, and like that was also her way of. I think he was more of a rebound that turned into just something long term than she planned. I think it was more like that's how that came because she had broke up with Mo. Here's a nice neurosurgeon, successful. I should be with him.
He's the safe one.
Yeah, he's a safe choice, but
Yeah.
making a safe choice doesn't
mean happiness.
It will never mean happiness.
Right.
Yeah, I think she took the safe. I think you're absolutely right. She took the safe choice. She knew what it was. She knows that she's a hard driver. She knows that she's super diligent and vigilant about her work. So she's like somebody that's a neurosurgeon. Obviously, he has to be serious about his work. You know what I mean? I think she thought that they would partner on that level. But just as you said, there's very little chemistry there. Like even when they're kissing, I don't believe them. You know what I mean? There's a sexual tension with Dawn and Mo more so than with her husband. Which
Do you feel like Dawn is more like Spencer's more available and accessible than Dawn is? Like with her career, like being on the floor and doing what she does versus him who's supposed to have a busier lifestyle, like he's more accessible. Like he's
Well, I think that what you're seeing is just his personality. I think he has. I mean, they both work and they make time for each other. But I think that he is more accessible because he is very. What's the word I'm looking for? He's not.
He's more laid back.
He's very laid back, but he's plain. Like he literally he's very
vanilla.
He very
There's
vanilla.
nothing exciting about him.
He wants to have a baby. He wants to do this.
He wants stability.
Exactly.
he
And
wants
Dawn
the American dream.
is all about
Yeah,
that.
Dawn
like,
is about
she's trying to
about
get this.
that bag.
Exactly.
She's about that whatever is necessary to make it work at work.
Right.
She's about making a name for herself. The fact
Right.
that she even went into a ridiculous back and forth with Mo, trying to get the respect that she deserves, the money, the title, all of that stuff. She was in for it. You know what I mean? That's what she looks forward to. The same humdrum everyday shit.
Right.
She's not the one.
And I think that's what she's struggling with is because that's what she's getting with him. That's what she's getting. Like if you want stability, that's it.
Yeah.
He's got the stable job, he's got whatever, but she doesn't want that. Now my question is segueing into who do you think is better for Dawn? Do you think Mo or do you think Blair?
I think Blair.
Blair?
Blair.
I knew you were gonna say Blair because you like Blair.
First of all, I do, and like when we saw them at the ball thing, the auction, like they had great chemistry. They actually they get each other, and like Dawn's not always topping him like she does like with Mo. Like it's more of a it's just more of an equalness that it's so subtle. Because with Mo, she always has to fight for her place. Blair knows exactly who this woman is and knows what she's capable of. He doesn't care also at the same time. He wants to learn from her as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And it's great. It's just completely great to see. So that's why I feel Blair is better for her.
Plus, Mo is just an asshole all the way around. He doesn't know how to be anything good to it. So he has these moments where he feels something and has actual emotions, but he just suppresses them. You know what I mean? He's not in tune with himself. For God's sake, he was fucking the robot. You know what I mean? Let's start there. Like, that was his...
What was he fucking the robot?
Yes, girl.
Yeah, Dawn called him out on that.
Remember Dawn called him out? It was like, okay, I'm going to leave you now so you can get it in with your robot.
Oh, my God.
And then he's like, the robot has a name, like 3 or 2 or 3,
Whoa.
when they have Blair over.
Did you catch that, Lynn?
Yeah. You're the only one.
Just you.
You see why I have to watch these episodes twice?
Right. No, I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot
It's a
going
lot
on.
of information. It's a lot of
going on.
information. Definitely. It's a lot to put in there.
But that's huge.
I think it's. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying Mo's like a classic narcissist.
Oh, God, yes.
A classic narcissist.
Hands down.
Hands
And
right.
he's also a little bit dissociative.
He's a lot of things.
He's a lot of like. If there's a lot of mental terms for the '80s, like that we could just throw out now. Like we could just check it off the list. Like we should go actually go down the list one day.
Of sociopath too.
A big sociopath.
Yeah, he's a big nut.
And I think the only thing that I think with Don and Mo is that they both want the same thing. They're both very similar as far as like, yeah, definitely Mo is a jerk. You know, Don is not per se, but she can get there.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
she
saying?
knows how to be a jerk.
She knows how
She
to
learned
do
from
that.
the best.
So I think that they're more equals, and that's why I think they would never work in a relationship because they both are the same person almost.
No, well, that's not fair to say. Only because Dawn does have a heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm
She
saying,
most
I'm
certainly
talking
sees
about
things
like,
more objectively.
I'm talking about as far as like personality, as far as like they're both quick-witted.
She's an alpha female.
Right,
He's
exactly.
an alpha male.
Exactly.
No question.
So alpha females and alpha males, I know from my previous marriage, it just simply doesn't work that easily. Like somebody has to do extreme compromising. Like both parties have to do extreme compromising, but someone has to give a little bit more.
And I think in that case, that's where Blair would come in. Like if let's say she actually did get with Blair, and she actually did get pregnant. Guess who would stay home with the baby?
Blair.
And that would actually work perfect for Dawn to go back to work and do her thing.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's a nice balance, and that seriously is why it would work.
Right. There it is.
I agree.
Let's go on over to, because there was a big situation with Keith. Mr. Keith.
I love Keith.
Keith is crazy.
He's a mess.
Let me tell you,
a lot
Keith
of
is
crazy.
a super mess. So we see there's a segment where we don't know exactly why he's doing this, but he basically takes, and if Bree, if you can put that image up. So he takes 3 different things. He takes X-Lax, Ipecac, and then chili con carne. And he basically downs them all. Now, in watching this, we're like, okay, what is that for? Because we know Ipecac makes you vomit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Of course, the X-Lax is for
The back end.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then chili is just chili.
Just chilling.
Right. And so he's doing this, and we're like, what is his problem? What is he doing this? We find out afterwards that his family is going on supposed to be doing this family trip.
Right.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm so excited. Let's go. Da-da-da-da. He does
Knowing.
that. Right. Because he wants to be with his man.
Right.
Right. He has a Broadway debut. He doesn't want to miss that. And so he gets in the car. All these poor kids. And he literally throws up on his children.
And like in an exorcist type of way. It's
Yeah, it was like
scary.
The worst father.
projectile vomit.
The worst father I've ever seen in my life.
But this is the thing. I think he's actually a good dad is because he's trying to figure out also
He's a
who
good dad?
he can be a good dad like when he chooses to be, but it's also because he's trying to fight off his own personalness. And I think once he figured it out, just be with your man, your kids will be okay. I think he'd become a better dad.
Well, see,
He's never going to do that.
Yeah, that's
He's never
the
gonna do
problem.
that. But I'm just miracles. I believe in miracles.
Oh, you
working
believe
out.
in
Right,
the,
you
believe in
reaching
the
right
impossible.
there, baby. Kind of
is
stretching.
what you're trying to do.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, his ego would never allow him to admit to the world that he was gay.
Right.
Let's start there. He's completely in denial about that part of who he is, to the point where he's trying to make Blair feel like he might be gay.
Right.
He's planting seeds in Blair's mind about being
Right.
Okay,
homosexual.
let's
That has
talk
nothing to do
about
with
that
anything.
because this show alluded to a lot of Blair not knowing who he is.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of gay references for Blair's character, and I'm just trying to figure out where the writers are going here. There was the part where Tiff, actually, she was the one who was, like, making references to pink is your favorite color, da-da-da.
You're a gay.
And then you're gay. And then the part where she's like, this is our moment to come out. Aren't you ready to come out?
Exactly.
And it's just like, okay, I get, like, it's funny, but I'm trying to see if the writers are trying to plug something in there. And then Keith's little uncomfortable conversation with him saying, like, you want it. Or what was it saying?
You wish.
You wish. No,
Yeah,
you
you
wish.
wish.
No, you wish. And I'm just like, what are you saying? Like, is
They're
this
gonna
a
get to
thing?
it. No, I like it.
And then how when Blair was at the party, he was like, I need to tell the truth. And he was put on a spot, and then he looks at Tiff, and then he looks at Dawn, and then he looks at the bartender, who was kind of like possibly gay.
I just thought he was going to
The gay
bartender because he wanted
bartender.
another drink.
And I'm just like, Are they trying to tell us something?
Clearly.
There's a lot of signs in this
But
episode. I'm not knowing where it's
innuendo.
going now.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of innuendo, a whole lot of insinuation without them blatantly saying it, which just makes it that much doper. The writing is so good because now it has you wondering. You don't know, right?
Yeah.
But I
now
kinda
we're all
agree with you,
questioning
though.
the same thing he's questioning. Am I gay? Wait, I think I like girls. I'm pretty sure I like girls, but
there was no prior references to him
that's
liking
what makes it so dope.
men.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
I just thought it was more of like he's just trying to put the doubt on him so he will hopefully forget the whole I'm gay thing.
Well, yeah, that's Keith's motive, but what about his wife? What about the gay bartender?
what about all those other references
references?
throughout the show?
Yeah, that's what makes it so dope. Like,
True.
you have to kind of pay attention to that part of it.
I see it, but I'm also just like, I don't know if that was just, I think also the part of that writing for me is just like they're trying to throw us off, so I'm also try to not pay attention to it, but not pay attention to it so much.
Not pay attention, but not pay attention? I don't understand what you mean.
Like not like the not Mike Milken, like it's a thing, but I'm trying also not to.
Oh, but you're not trying to make it like a real big thing. You think
Yeah,
it's,
because I feel like it's
understated.
trying to be a throwaway maybe also too.
I think they put too much into it for it to be a throwaway. They're gonna give us some great reveal next week.
Ooh, honey.
I'm
We'll
too
see.
ready.
We'll see.
I mean,
Maybe he'll wake up in a
Somebody was
bathtub
riding their bike
with
with no clothes on,
Yassir.
so
Right.
Him and Yassir will be tonguing each other
Oh
down.
gosh.
I can't though.
Don't you love Yassir?
I'm not here for it. Yassir's
Speaking of
everything.
Yassir, I do want to see more, like we said earlier,
Flesh
like
him
so see more about him.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get it next episode.
Yeah. Don't you love that one line though when they were in the hotel room?
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't worry about it. Just leave, and I'll take the fall."
Right.
He's like, "Really? Hell no! What the hell's wrong with you?"
As soon as he said that, I was like, I know you acting a fool right now,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's no way this is like you as a person of color is actually gonna take this fall right now. Please tell me you smarter than
Personal
this.
color.
Now, y'all
Back in the
knew
80s.
he was
Yeah.
being sarcastic. My line for Yassir on this episode was, "Did you shit on the floor again?"
Right.
I'm like, at
Like
what
how
point?
often does that happen? But like Mike,
This is
you
a
question
thing.
that question. Like how often does that happen?
Exactly.
Right.
Like to ask that question.
That's a thing.
Mine was the whole PCP thing. Like, what do we say if we want to order PCP? No, we don't order PCP. I'm just like, okay, it don't matter how many times you say it. Obviously, you go to order PCP, so how about you just don't bring up PCP?
No,
Right.
my favorite was the lead up to the PCP. He was like, "Okay, let's think what happened last night. We ordered food.
Yeah.
We ate the food. We ordered PCP. There we go. That's the
Right,
default
that's it,
point.
that's it.
That's what got you there.
Right.
Comedy.
So let's talk about this party because everything goes down
Yeah.
right at the later half of this latter half of this episode. So they get there and it's supposed to be an engagement party.
Right.
Turns into chaos. Blair gets sloppy drunk. Starts embarrassing Tiff. She's upset because she's got her girls with her
Yes.
that she's trying to impress and look
course.
good in front of. It's not looking good. But then we also see Mo and Spence have a conversation, right? And they talk about Don, and he then finds out, which is mind-boggling to me, that they actually dated. Like, this is the time he finds out.
Right.
Like, he never knew beforehand. And granted, Don never told him or never,
He suspected, but she kept denying it.
Right, because she didn't want it to be weird.
Right.
And I get it. So he's upset, obviously, now. He's like, what, you dated, da-da-da-da, because I think he's intimidated by him.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
The dominance.
Right. And then we see Wayne and Yassir come out of nowhere screaming in the party, like, we can't go anywhere else. And they're just, like, there's cops chasing us. And then Mo is laughing at them like, y'all crazy. This is a prank. And they're like, what?
Right.
And he got him back for the whole
That was
LaGuardia
so
thing.
evil.
That was great.
That was awesome.
That was great. That
that
was
was
like my
crazy.
favorite part of the episode.
How much you think he shelled out just to be able to say "gotcha"?
Right.
3 months later, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
When I saw the scene, the whole episode open up to the dead bodies, I was like, this is so random. Like, why did you throw that in there? It
I
it
love that it
didn't
started
make
with
sense
that. Right.
that they did that.
That's why
because
they
I'm just
do it.
like, why do we need more dead bodies when we still trying to figure out the dead body from episode 1? Like, seriously?
Right.
So my favorite thing was when they brought the dude out like on a stretcher almost to the trunk of the car. And there's another dead body in the trunk of the car.
Right.
Somehow when you bought all these shovels, you didn't realize there was also somebody in your back seat. I mean, you're in your trunk.
Yeah.
Dude, though.
Terrible.
But you know that Dairy Queen.
I'm just saying, I don't ever want to work for Mo. That's all I got to say.
Right, period.
Because
I don't want no parts.
I don't want no parts of that.
Me either.
We then see Tiff leave in disgust because she's just had it, right? And then she gets, what is that, chocolate or something?
The lava cake.
Lava cake, right.
Yeah.
Blows up on her dress.
She wasn't mad about it. She was mad about it being lukewarm, though. She wasn't mad about
She did,
the
it's not,
actual.
she was mad, but she was just like, and on top of that, it's lukewarm. It's not even hot.
Okay, gotcha.
And then Spence wants to leave with Dawn. You know, they want to leave, but she's like not having it.
Right.
She's over him. But then she finds out, and I wanted to get your take on this, that Mo wants to cut her. Because remember, when they're having the conversation, he's basically telling her, look, I'm just here. We're trying to make this deal.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to ship her over to the Lieberman brothers away.
Lehman Brothers.
Lehman Brothers, sorry. And then basically, then he's like, she's not going to go for that. He's like, exactly. So then she quits. And then you have your wife.
Boom.
And so we're
Win-win.
both happy.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh. But then, of course, you know, finds out Don is not happy. Do you think that Mo really meant that? Or do you think he was saying that to appease Spence?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yes.
I think that he definitely meant that he would be willing to do something of that caliber.
Okay.
Because that's how cutthroat this nigga is. Can I not say that word? Sorry.
Ninja.
That guy, this ninja is. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I think it's a little bit of both. The fact that he is able to convince her or convince the husband that he's not feeling her or whatever. That was his whole purpose. All he wanted to do was get this guy off his back and have him not breathing down his throat about pretty much anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm bad at what I do. I'm bad as in good at what I do. And you need to just stay in your lane and stop asking me so many goddamn questions. I think it's what it boiled down to. There's a little bit of both. He might have meant it, but it was more so like, back up, son. I got this.
For sure. What are you going to say, Chae?
I totally agree. I think it was a little bit of both. But I also feel like the fact that Spencer was trying to be that dominant, assertive person. But I'm sorry, you didn't just grab me once. You grabbed me twice. And personally, I thought he was kind of lucky that Mo punched him because I feel like she would have punched him or slapped him. Because I don't care if you're my husband or not, do not grab me and try to pull me like I'm a child.
That part.
Like, seriously. I was just like, okay, you mad and that's totally understandable. But we don't play that here.
Right.
Just simple. But I totally agree. I think Mo was just, he meant it, he means it, but he also was just like, dude, I'm trying to work my connection. I'm trying to just get this deal done. I don't have time for you at the same time. I don't have time to deal with what this is.
Right.
At the end of the day, Mo is in love with Dawn no matter what she does. So he can call it whatever he wants. He can placate people by her husband. He can say, yeah, I'm going to ship you off. But at the end of the day, he has some really deep-rooted feelings for Dawn.
Absolutely. I totally agree with her. Before we move into our next segment, will you have something to say?
I do. All right, people. We really just wanted to thank you. Thank you so much for making us the ESPN of TV, for us to continue to grow. We do need your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please, please, please give us 5 stars. We deserve it. But no matter who you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. That's what we really look forward to, that back and forth between you and us. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us. Quite honestly, we truly appreciate you supporting us in doing what we absolutely love. So don't forget to tell your friends and keep watching our shows because we'll keep coming around.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. All right. Just got a special note.
Okay.
I know. I was like,
Okay. Little note.
it's like we. Like, I'm just
Cute.
excitement over here.
Like in elementary. Check the box, yes or no.
That part. I want to talk about Blair real quick because there's a lot that goes on with him during this party. We do see that he kisses Dawn at the very end because he's laid out in this tub, right? Toe up, drunk. Dawn ends up there, and then they end up talking and having this heart-to-heart. I wanted to ask, there's a couple of reveals that happen. There's one where he mentions to Mo about the jeans.
Yeah,
Georgina jeans that he sees when he's doing the thing what we saw last episode.
Right.
Finally.
Shredding.
Right,
When he
right.
was shredding.
Right. And then we see that when they have the prank about the cop and they say, oh man, this guy, he's an actor, all this kind of stuff. And then he notices that this is the same guy that escorted him when Mo ended up, making him part of his team.
Right.
Another prank.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So then he's starting to put things together. He's like, interesting. Do you think that he's going to figure it out by next episode?
Yes.
He's so slow though.
He's not though. He's not slow at all. He's pretty smart, and that's why he's doing so well. What it is he's so easily influenced. He wants to be down with the cool kids so badly that I think that he turns a blind eye to a lot of things. But he's super smart. He is actually hella smart. So I think that he will figure it out. But how he reacts to it, I have no idea. Will he fold or will he go with it? Because he doesn't love this woman. He doesn't really want to be married to her. That much is obvious. Right. So for him to side with Mo and all the rest of them in terms of like this whole deal that this concoction that they've created, I don't know about that, but I do know for sure I feel like he's gonna figure it out. How he reacts is anybody's guess.
It's gonna be interesting. Let's get into our special segment time. Yeah. So I wanted to highlight, we saw one of the songs, we talked about it already, which was Karma Chameleon, which is by Culture Club. Came out in 1983, so on the screen we'll have up some screen grabs. But came out in 1983, was #1 on the Billboard charts.
As it should have been.
In the U.S.
Yes.
And it was just a great song.
It was.
It was a great song. And we see this basically shown when... Keith is, he blows it with his boyfriend, right? So he shows up, he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. Boyfriend gets mad, and so this is what he listens to when he's jamming out, to make himself feel better. And it's funny because Chae said, "Oh, it makes me feel good," so it made him feel good,
right,
and that's why he was, it was a great song. I do remember it all over the charts back in, and when it came out in '83, and then on, it's a huge hit. And Boy George was part of that Culture Club, that group.
Oh yeah.
And he came solo and became a huge star out of the UK. And so we just wanted to highlight that in our special segment. Let us get into predictions. Let's do that.
All right. Are we starting with me? Obviously, that's why you pointed at me. No, you go first. What are you predicting?
Oh, I was waiting on the thing to start.
I know the prediction music. I
was legit waiting.
I kind of went too fast for our engineer, I think, and so she was on something else. But it's okay. We can wait for the music, or we can. Are you ready, Bree? There it is.
Awesome.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Let's have lights.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Go ahead, Kitty. You start.
My predictions. I definitely predict that Blair will put 2 and 2 together and figure out that something is amiss with Georgina Jeans. But I don't know how he could possibly react. I mean, there's just so many ways he could react to that because of the way that he feels about his wife. But yeah, I predict that. And I predict that we saw them about to kiss in the elevator, so we know it's going down in the DMs.
Yeah.
In the elevator.
Yeah.
So I predict them hooking up, and
they did kiss though. I thought they
they
kissed. I was gonna say.
No, but I mean like hooking up. I predict that happens.
For sure.
And I predict Dawn looking at him like, why are you making a big deal out of this? This is not a thing. Like, it just happened. I love my husband. I can see her totally giving him that type of shade.
Word. Okay.
I have the opposite thing of that. I feel like Dawn, if Blair isn't going to figure it out, even this, for next week's episode, the one after that, Dawn might be the one to blow the whistle. Because even when we watched the preview, she was kind of saying you shouldn't be marrying someone you don't, marrying somebody you don't love is a mistake.
Right.
So I feel like that's also just going to, like, that's either her own personal feelings or how she's now feeling something for Blair. So I feel like that's going to be a whole thing. And I think how Blair is going to react, I think that if he realizes he doesn't love Tiff as much, he might be down for the play. I feel like if they bring him in, I feel like he might actually be down for it. To mess over his interesting future wife.
Okay.
So my prediction is kind of piggybacking on you two. I think that Dawn and Blair, it's not over. And they're going to have some spicy, steamy romance. And I'm here for it. Sorry, guys. I think Mo is going to really feel like, okay, so Blair and Tiff, I don't think there's a future there. I don't think there will be a marriage, and I think that will be the down spiral of Mo. And whatever he got cooking up in his schemery of things. And yeah, Keith, Oh my God, I just want him to be found out so bad. And this SEC, this, what was her name? Missy Mills and Deb Fox. I think they're going to crack down on Keith, starting with Keith, and then it's going to be a trickle effect.
Absolutely.
On the company.
I was just going to say, you took the words out of my mouth. I think that's going to, or they're going to try to. I mean, obviously, I think Mo is really smart. So I think he's going to, somehow circumnavigate that, but I think that's going to be the play. They're going to use that. And Keith is so... We see what he did just to get out of going on his trip. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what he's going to do if he's found out.
He has no limits.
So, yeah, exactly. So, and this toupee and taking it off and taking it on, like putting it on, that's just killing me. Do one of the two. Like, I need you to be consistent, my
Pick
brother.
a struggle.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
so messy.
He's super messy, but he's great. So I definitely agree with you on that. I would love, just for the sake of the show, for Blair and Don to get together. Like, I would love that.
Yes.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I think they're teasing us, but I definitely love that aspect because it'll just throw a monkey wrench in everything. It'll turn everything upside down.
Everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
And in a funny way, it actually messes up the Lehman Brothers too.
Exactly.
How so?
Because the only reason they bought 30% of the general group is because of the Georgina play. So if that doesn't go through, now the capital they that brought in,
it'll affect that.
It'll affect that too. And I mean, shout out to Kim Marino who plays both brothers. He does a fantastic job. I think he's a great actor, and I'm ready for it.
Ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, we will see.
Yeah.
Until then, that has been our episode. We want to thank you for joining us today. Make sure you tune in next week because, Chae Jones said that we have a guest coming. And I'm super excited for having that guest. Who's the guest coming in?
His name is Mike. He plays Mike, Jason Michael Snow. He's going to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next week, make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be amazing. And of course, we'll all be back. You want to see us because we're awesome. And that's what it is. I'm your host, Lem Gonsalves, and you can find me everywhere at Lem Gonsalves. Where
Hey
you
guys,
at?
you can find me on Instagram at Angele Taylour _
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Real Chae Jones. On Tuesdays at 8 p.m. You can find me on Good Trouble. And I just launched my new YouTube channel, Unapologetically Chae. Check it out.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Until the next week, we will see
You
you.
get to
Wait,
say nothing?
come on, Kitty.
That's how you feel?
Oh, sorry, Kitty. Sorry. I'm just so used to having three people. I'm so used to having three people. My
I'm not
bad.
going to take it personal.
I'm just glad you
Please
didn't
find me on
come
Instagram at kittie KaBoom. That is my name. KITTIE, last name KABOOM. It ain't nothing, Lem.
Yes,
You love
yes.
me, I know.
I do love you.
We love you.
Yes.
There we go.
So much. All right. Until next week, we will see you. Peace.
Our founder,
Bye.
Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.